Hello everybody, welcome to OCHD and welcome to another Jumputi Heroes news video. Today we are talking about the 5th anniversary celebration. It's finally here, and before we get into it, I would just like to say shout out to none other than me for correctly guessing who the Densetsu would be. Honest to God, when I put that video out, I was like, you know what? I think I've done something here. And hardly a single person was like, yeah, it could actually be him. Almost everyone was like, okay then. Get back to the home. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, guess what? The Densetsu for this anniversary is Urahara Kisuke from Bleach. And it goes hard. I don't even care. It goes hard. And you know we're going to be summoning on him, but not today. Today, we have to go through this absolute monolith of a news post that took me like a whole day. It took me like a whole day. Like 24 hours. But it's done. And there is, believe it or not, a lot to talk about. So, first things first. Let's talk about the bad stuff. There is some issues right now. One of them I sadly encountered yesterday. Android 32-bit devices are no longer supported. What does this mean? It means if you are using an Android 32-bit device, you won't be able to download the latest version of the game, which is not good. I had that problem. I have an emulator that I just couldn't download the update on. So that was a bit of a long day for me trying to sort that out. But there are also other people I have seen who don't have an Android 32-bit device that were still having issues updating. And apparently this is one of many instability issues that are here with the current version of the game. And I think particularly people on iOS are encountering an issue where there's certain parts of the game that aren't working properly, including the hidden potential system. They're trying to do their hidden potential on Goku, and they just can't do it. So if you're encountering any problems, that's some of them. You'll also notice that Tower is not open right now. You just can't do it. You can't do that daily mission. You can't play Tower. Any special events for Tower are being renegotiated, reorganized for another date. And the missions are being recompensated in the mail, so you're just not going to be able to clear that mission. And Unity Battle was supposed to be up. That's down right now as well. So it's a bit chaotic. Things are a little bit broken, but hey-ho. Then we have the anniversary website, which is open right now. There is going to be additional stuff related to this website later, or at least related to campaigns and such from the website later. But the only one that's out right now gives you a 5th anniversary special multi-ticket, which is a multi with 10 5-stars, one of which is guaranteed to be limited. Very cool reward. If you don't have that already, jump on. Come and get it. 500 free summons. We like our free summons. This is actually 50 multi-tickets, which equates to 500 free summons, because obviously, you know, each one is worth 10 summons. And you can get up to, well, if you do it all and you get all the rewards, you can get 5 limiteds for free, which is pretty damn cool. Not to mention, obviously, there are, you know, probably some standard GATS units on there you might not have, and just a good time. 500 free summons, it's not bad. My running theory, I wouldn't say theory, more of a concern, that I might need to save duplicates for the hidden potential system. It seems that's not the case. As such, I have so many tickets. There's so many duplicates I was sitting on and stuff like that. So I'm going to have to get around to those at some point. I think it was a valid concern, because knowing these devs, you can't be sure. You can't be sure they wouldn't do something like that. But anyway, you get 20 of these tickets from login bonus, 10 from the first login bonus, and then 10 from the second login bonus. And then you will get 30 from this event here. Now, that event, well, we'll talk about it when we get to it. let's talk about the Mountain of Rubies campaign. Now, this I hate events like this for 2 reasons. Number one, it's super misleading because 500 million rubies sounds like such a large amount, like so many, and it feels like, well, like, how many people could possibly be playing the game? Like I can't be splitting it between that many people, so I've got to be getting a good amount of rubies here. But actually, it normally works out to not as many as you think it's going to be. I would probably say a couple of thousand rubies, maybe. One thing I'm always concerned about is there are people that will just be like re-rolling, and so all of those accounts are going to get it. There are people that are going to be like just starting new accounts to get rewards and to play the game and see maybe they'll keep one of those accounts or something. But people might have multiple accounts on the go at one time. All of those are going to get it. And there'll be people that come back to the anniversary to play for like 20 minutes and then leave, and they get the rewards. But this time they've done it a little bit differently. The first ticket, yes, you just have to log in to get it. But the other 3, you need to farm this event. Now, the event we'll talk about in a sec, but basically, the farming is a bit of a chore. And as such, not as many people should be getting vouchers B through E, which should mean that the splits for the rubies should be a lot better on those. Now, I you know, I'm a skeptic. And there's always part of me when something like this happens. If you've played Dokkan and you remember the like global versus Japan stuff, and there was always the thing of like, it always seemed like win or lose, Japan would get the more popular character. And there's always part of you that's like, hang on a minute, that's a bit suspicious. Like I don't get to see the numbers for myself, so I don't know. And that's how I feel whenever it's something like this. It's like, I feel like they have a number in their head of how many rubies they want to give out, and then they just give out that many, and then they say, oh yeah, this many people did it. Because realistically, with the farming set up as it is currently set up, vouchers B through E are going to take a very long time. Admittedly, we're getting 300 of each currency per day, which is going to help towards that, but somebody's basically going to have to play a lot in order to get all these vouchers. So, theoretically, after voucher A, which I think we get the reward for that on the 10th or something anyway, but I think voucher B is the first one. When we get the reward for that, it should be a significant amount of rubies. But that will that remains to be seen. And once we get there and we see how many rubies we get, maybe I'll be proved wrong. Maybe it will be a good amount, and maybe I'll shut my mouth. But I think it's not going to be as many. I would say for all 5 vouchers, if we got 5,000 rubies total, I would be shocked. I'm thinking more like 2,000 to 3,000, maybe. But we'll see. So that's what you got to do for that event. You got to log in one time. You got to collect the items from this other event, which we'll talk about in a second. The daily raffle. This one is pretty good, but it's unfortunately one of those RNG ones. Admittedly, you know, the gold voucher has the best rewards, as you can see here. But you can get the bronze ones, you can save them up, and you can trade them in for a gold one, get the gold rewards. But basically, it does come down to luck, which is unfortunate because, I don't know, I don't like stuff like that. Like, I would like some kind of guarantee that you get at least 1 gold ticket and you don't have to, like, sabotage your other rewards in order to get it. Like, if it was, like, on the 10th day, they just give you a gold one, guaranteed, or something like that. But it's fine. Rewards are rewards. I'm not going to turn my nose up. And the rewards are pretty good this time around. Pretty damn good. The numbers they were throwing up on the stream for how many rubies they were giving out, I found to be more confusing than anything else. They had a lot of numbers that some of them sounded like a lot, some of them sounded like didn't that much. It's kind of hard to say. But the thing is, when you're releasing a Densetsu that costs like almost 30k, and in 3 limiteds that cost basically like 10k each, Plus you have a bunch of returning stuff. I mean, the expected output is very, very high. So the numbers got to be up there, obviously. And I would argue that what they said on stream didn't actually do justice to what they've actually been given out. I would say the numbers are looking pretty good so far, and if they continue at this rate, I think by the end of the event we'll be able to say, you know what, that was a pretty good one. Now this is the event, the Mark of a Hero event, the one that we're talking about farming up here. And the reason why this is such a nightmare, there are 4 stages. Technically there's 5 stages, but there's 4 stages for farming these 4 currencies, and then the 5th stage is all 4 at once. So there's one for this, one for this, one for this, one for this, and one for all 4. And they messed up the drop rates on it. They've even come out and said they messed up the drop rates on it. And it's a lot harder to get the numbers that you need. So in order to help out with that, they're giving out 300 a day of each. But obviously if you need 5,000 of each, it's still going to be a considerable amount of farming you're going to have to do. So this is the only, assuming they do this this split thing in earnest, and they don't make up the numbers, and they do it 100% legit. That thing where like, oh no, we accidentally like messed up the drop rate, whatever, and it's not being fixed until like the 10th, which is by then we would have had like 3 or 4 of the tickets already. Hypothetically, assuming on both counts they are not lying to us, that could mean that they're giving out a lot more rubies than they expected. But as I said before, I'm a bit of a skeptic, so I don't know about that. But nonetheless, this is a good event for rewards. There is tons of stuff in the shop. Good luck getting it all, because you're going to have to do so much farming. There is also 2 characters you're going to have to max out. So you've got a lot of work to do. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of work. But the boosted units are only units from this event. You can still get 4 boosted units on day 1. So it's not that big a deal. But obviously you're going to want to go for the Gatron Limited and such if you want good boost. It's going to be a long grind for a lot of people. Considering there's other stuff people are going to be doing, it's going to be a bit of a long grind. They are giving us additional stamina tankards as well to help with the farming. So who knows? But anyway, our first 2 characters we get to talk about here. We have Inner Hollow. That's what he's called. And I mean, that's what he is. But there was an inescapable part of me that was saying, just call him White Ichigo. Everyone knows what you're talking about. But, I mean, he is technically, I mean, in the files, he's counted as an Ichigo. So, I don't really know. But, looks cool. It's a cool sprite. And definitely, I think this event, it's a bit of a weird one. I do like a more diverse roster, and they've really just gone for the 4 biggest series. But at the same time, I have to say, it's the 5th anniversary. So them going for the 4 biggest series is kind of fair. And I would say the picks they've chosen from those series, for the most part, are quite good. There's a couple of questionable, maybe, I don't know. But I'm pretty happy with this. Like, OG Dragon Ball has got hardly any representation in Jumputi like it should have gotten. So having a Mercenary Tao there is good. The sprite is sensational. I know some people don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the sprites, but it's like they have captured that like classic Toriyama style there. It looks so good. And I'd say the same with White Ichigo or Inner Hollow. Looks pretty damn good if you ask me. And I'm happy to have these 2 as farmables. We have noticed a sort of shift away from traditional class events. What I would say is there's probably like, you know, they said in the past they have different people leading the team on different events. And I reckon one of the team leaders still likes to have his like transcendent class events and all this stuff. And then one of them is like, actually, I prefer it when it's like, it's a bit neater and there's other stuff going on. So it's like, instead of having transcendent class, Hollow Ichigo, transcendent class, Mercenary Tao, you have an event like this, and then they have more maybe challenging stages instead. So I don't know. I'm pretty happy with this event, other than, you know, the farming's going to be a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. And this introduces the new item, Heroic Crystal, which we will have a lot to talk about regarding that soon. And yeah, as I said before, these are the boosted units, all the units from this event. Now I quite like this style of event. This event is sort of like a work your way up to maxing them out sort of thing. This Naruto is free, you get him for free. You play the first stage, you get his evolver item, and you can use that to evolve him to 6-star, and then you farm the other stage to get copies of him. The only thing I would say that's maybe a little bit disappointing to me is they've released this Naruto and this Goku, and their stages are almost identical in terms of the way it's all set up. You get a copy in your gift box, and the rest you have to do from this event. But they didn't give Naruto the hidden potential update, but they did give it to Goku, and that's a bit disappointing for me. I mean, maybe it's something they'll add for him in the future. I don't know. But it just seemed logical to me to give it to both of them. I guess the only argument is because it is so resource intensive, maybe they didn't want to give it to 2 characters at once, because then people would be like, oh damn, I'm running out of materials here. But this does leave a door open for stuff in the future. Like in the future, they could give it to this event, or they could give it to any other number of events that we have. So I kind of fuck with it. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, this is a really cool moment for Naruto. Some might argue could have been limited. I wouldn't necessarily disagree, but there is an issue of, like, we have so many Naruto limited. So having this as a free-to-play version, yeah, okay, I am on board. It looks really cool. Very nice. And this introduces the new ability, Overdrive. A lot like Transformation, which we already had, but Transformation, you can click a button and you transform. You can't do that here. This Naruto transforms based on set restrictions, and there's 2 of these units at the moment. There's this Naruto, and there is Kaido, who we'll talk about later. And the transformation in this case is transforming between Form 1 and Form 2 when your HP is 65% or less, and then after 99 turns have passed, transforming back. It's definitely interesting. I don't necessarily know how they're going to handle it in the future, because transforming units, they obviously take a lot more work to make. That's why we don't have that many of them. So while I can think of a lot of candidates for this, you know, that could work for this, I don't necessarily know the next time we're going to see one of these, when that's going to be. Like, it could be relatively soon, or it might be like transforming, where we have to wait like 6 months or more. So I guess we'll wait and see. But for now, pretty cool. And then here's the Goku event, which, as I mentioned, is so similar to the Naruto event. The only difference really being there is an additional stage, and the additional stage gives you the Goku Heroic Crystal, and this can be used only on this Goku in the hidden potential system. It's a very interesting pick for Goku. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love it. Namek Goku, like base form, sprite looks incredible. Again, capturing not just capturing Akira Toriyama's style, but capturing it from the specific moment that this version of the unit is from. I am very much impressed. And yeah, I mean, it's a really cool event. I'm really happy with it. But I'm very intrigued by the fact that they already had another Goku, which was Angel Goku, ready to go. He is done. He has been added to the Tier 1 version. And we assumed that he would come to the JP version eventually. And maybe he still will, but it's interesting that we've had a different Goku show up in the meantime. But nonetheless, still very happy with this, and he introduces us to the hidden potential system. Now, this update is quite a big update. Ultimately, any changes the hidden potential system makes will not have any impact on Tower. It will only affect other stuff, you know, basically PvE game modes. And this lineup of characters, obviously, a lot of units from year 1 of the game. We've got those limiteds in there as well. All of those limiteds except Ichigo have their level 15 update. I don't know when they're going to give Ichigo his level 15 update. They didn't actually announce any level 15 stuff during this event. I thought they would have. So maybe that's something we'll see later. Because, I mean, I remember around Christmas or whenever that live stream was, or whenever that... No, it's a blog post. They told us all the ones that will be coming up in the near future. And we've gotten all of those now, and they haven't told us any more. I have a feeling that there's going to be a blog post at some point that covers the survey stuff and the stuff they spoke about on the roundtable stream, which I may or may not talk about at some point, because it was very difficult for me not being able to understand Japanese. I can read a little bit, and obviously when you have pictures and stuff, that makes it a lot easier. Or if there's text, you can, Google Translate it, I suppose, or whatever. But when it's just spoken speech, it's a lot harder. And from what I gathered, they said some pretty alarming things, and they also said some things that sort of felt like that's not really an answer, which was what I expected. But I'm hoping that they're going to put a lot of the information they spoke about there into a blog post. If they don't, I might have to get creative at some point. But I'm expecting a blog post at least to announce maybe the upcoming level 15 updates and some other stuff. I guess we'll have to wait and see. They might just be slowing down on that for now. But hopefully we'll know one way or another in the near future. And the way you unlock a unit's hidden potential, you get them to 6-star, you get them to level 99, and you have to limit break them to 30 to max out the hidden potential. And then you go to the hidden potential button in the character power-up thing, power-up screen, and you need the crystals, which we mentioned before, the heroic crystal, and in this case the Goku heroic crystal, and that will allow you to begin your journey to unlocking their hidden potential. Now this, I haven't done a normal unit yet because I just haven't had time. But I have done Goku, and Goku's, the resources required to do him, it was quite a lot, but it was also not that bad because stuff like yellow books, it had like the lowest rarity of yellow books in there, and admittedly I didn't have a lot of those because a lot of those don't drop from regular stages, but it wasn't that hard to get the amount I needed. Moving forwards, when we're going to be talking about like limited units and hero grade units, it might be a little bit tougher. I don't know. But yeah, I do find it interesting that you got the 4 rooms, and each one's giving you stat buffs. At the end of the room, you get like an additional bonus. And sometimes that's a bonus to the ultimate attack, sometimes it's a bonus to the passive, sometimes it's a stat bonus, but this is all well and good. But then in the final room, it's literally just an aesthetic change. All it does is change the medal behind him. I found that to be a weird choice. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks alright, it looks pretty cool, but I would have liked if it was like that was one final big bonus or something like that. And it's not. And yeah, anyway, to do it, you need all these additional new bonus materials. The stage for this is currently half stamina. I'm assuming it's going to be added to the regular strengthening island. I don't know how it's going to be handled because I have a feeling we're going to need a lot of this stuff in the future. When they release updates like this, they normally give you a good amount of stuff straight away. But later on, they're going to make us work for it, so that's going to be fun. And yeah, you use the materials to max out hidden potential. You can also use these wonder slabs, which again, I think are going to be just expensive, hard to get, so on and so forth. But pretty interesting update. It doesn't do as much as maybe I thought it might do, but it makes the units a hell of a lot stronger in PvE. So there is that. And some of these units have gone from being, like for example, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, gone from being just trash, like not even that long ago, to getting significant buffs, getting his level 15 update, getting this update, and he's become incredibly strong now. But you have to invest a lot into him in order to see the limits of how strong he can get. So it's up to you how invested you're going to become in each unit you're going to be doing this to, because the limited ones even cost more. They even cost more of the crystals. I assume the other materials they'll cost more of as well. So this is something where they're giving you something nice, but they're making you work for it. But anyway, this is the stage I was talking about that I'm assuming they're going to add to the regular strengthening island. Either that, or they might do like one for each of the slabs. I don't know. But regardless, I'm probably going to have to do some farming of this at some point, and everyone else will probably have to do the same. So looking forward to that. And then we have the only real like standard type event. This is a catastrophe class event, although not that standard, because the catastrophe class doesn't give us anything. No emblem, no costume. This item is not even from the catastrophe class stage. It's from the like transcendent class stage, the lower difficulty. So I don't really know why they made it a catastrophe class event. Could have been an ultimate, or they could have given him an aura costume, or lots of other things. I don't know. But that's where we are. That's where we are. Still, very nice to see him added. Very nice sprite. And fair enough. He had to be added, really. Yeah, if you get Urahara, this had to be done. Then we have a series of sort of like challenge stages, I guess. Each giving an emblem and a handful of other rewards. It's weird to me that they've done 2 Naruto ones here. I thought they would have done like a Bleach one, a Naruto one, a One Piece one, and a Dragon Ball one. But instead they did 2 Naruto ones and they didn't do a Bleach one. So that's a bit weird. But we've got the Jinchuriki emblem, we've got the New World emblem, we've got the Crimson Beast emblem, and we've got the Super Saiyan emblem. All pretty nice. Pretty nice. As you know, I'm not that big on emblems, but these are some pretty nice ones, I guess. I like the Super Saiyan one. That's pretty cool. And then we have Unity Battle Kaido. Now, this should be on right now, but this is another thing that's broken. The blue version is currently being rescheduled. The red one supposedly is going to start on the 2nd of April, and then we'll go from there. I don't know how they're going to handle the event not being able to happen during the event periods. But I guess they'll work that out when they get there. And we get some nice little chat stamps, which you might be able to use in co-op. So that's cool. Then we have a Super Dimensional Battle ranking event, which can get an emblem. But mostly you want the other rewards, I think. So just do your best against Kaido and try and get some nice rewards. And this event has... Actually, there's a few events coming back. But this event, don't forget to do this one, because it not only gives... a hell of a lot of skill EXP, a hell of a lot of character EXP, and a hell of a lot of rank EXP, but you also get jewel shards and I think limit break doors as well. So very much worth doing. Make sure to level up your characters. Like if you've got some of the new characters, just throw them in there. You're gonna level them up. And you can do that 3 times a day until the 17th, which is it's not an insignificant amount of EXP over the time it's going to be on. Then we have the returning legend summons from previous anniversaries. Pretty cool. And Battle Rush is coming back again. It only just left and it's come back again, which I am okay with. Each of them are back for a longer period than they were on last time, and they still give rubies, they still give jewels. Pretty nice. Now this for me is one of the events they need to consider giving the hidden potential stuff to at a later date. You could have additional stages to beat, and they could give the items you need to do the hidden potential for that character, including the like heroic crystal and all that stuff. And it can make these characters significantly like more powerful, actually useful. And maybe they could make it so we can get the units up to 99 luck. Maybe give them an aura costume. That's probably asking for too much. But regardless, we can sort of move in a good direction with these characters, because it's like, yeah, you reprint them and yeah, I get some rewards and I'm happy about it, but I'm not really working towards anything anymore. But you could make it so that I am, and that would be really nice. The Tower special seasons, as I mentioned before, Tower is shut, so the boosted overkill point rewards and the reduced skill bubble requirement seasons are going to have to wait. It's going to be shot pretty much all this week, I think. So I don't know what they're going to do about it, but I guess we'll see. And then the limited time rank up rewards. I'm very happy for this change because the last time I think it went up to like 500, and so much of the player base it was like, well, if you're not level 500, you're probably not even going to be able to push for level 500. So sucks to be you, sort of thing. But now it only goes up to 150. So if you're already there, you just get it. And if you're not already there, you can get to 150. During this event, 100% you can get there. So that's pretty cool of them. We have the reading time missions for Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. All you got to do is go to the missions tabs and just click on the missions and then click back, and you'll get all those tickets. Pretty nice. Ruby Shop has changed their purchase limit. So I think all of the jewels, which you could only buy one of before, you can now buy 5. Everything is times 5 during that period. I still haven't purchased anything from the Ruby store. I have no intention to purchase anything for the Ruby store, but if I was going to, then during this period, I would have the option to. We have a few special campaigns, friend point and stamina bonuses from the stuff you send to your friends on your friends list, all being doubled. Hero Island is half stamina, and it's actually triple drop rate, triple drop amount, and triple player experience. So great time to farm that. If you go for rank EXP, again, great time to do that. You don't necessarily have to do that, but if you want to, it's there. And the stamina cost of Strengthening Island is halved. All pretty good stuff. The 5th anniversary comeback campaign. By the way, they have renovated not just the comeback missions and comeback rewards and all that stuff, but also the beginner stuff. I'm going to have to go back and change the beginner missions and the intermediate missions. I think they've almost made all of the rewards like rubies or like limited tickets. So those are a lot better than they used to be. Because in the past, like, you do a difficult mission and you get like, not difficult obviously, but like, you know, you do a mission that like you're a beginner, you don't know what's going on, and they give you like 18 books. So it's like, what? That's no good to me. But now it's rubies, it's tickets. Like they've gone off with updating those missions. So very, very nice. And the comeback campaign sends stamina to players online that haven't played in over 8 days. If they return, both players get a multi-ticket, and the players that return will get additional missions, login bonuses, campaigns, and stuff that other people aren't getting. Loads of rewards to try and keep them locked in. Very cool. The trade medal exchange has been refreshed short of the monthly refresh. So it's refreshed on the 28th when it would normally refresh on the 1st. And it will refresh again on the 1st. So if there's anything you want to buy in there, this is an opportunity to do so. The co-op bonus is reset, so if you're short of rubies, go play co-op. You can, first 60 battles, you'll get rubies as a reward. Lifetime rank reward missions have been updated. I'm really disappointed that they're still putting soldier souls as a reward. If you get to rank 580, you get 500 soldier souls. Come on. Do you know how much effort it takes to go between level 570 and 580? It's so much EXP. I am very disappointed in that. I'm hoping at some point they'll go back and be like, okay, we'll give you rubies, but doesn't look like it. There's also no reward for level 600. Is it? I think it's possible to reach 600 now, but there's no reward for it. Or maybe there was a reward for it, but it was like, I don't know. Anyway, they didn't list one here. That's all I know. New lifetime max luck rewards. Again, 500 characters to max luck. You get 200 rubies and an emblem. They couldn't have given you 500 rubies. For 500 characters. That's 1 ruby per character. No. And 420, you get a 5-star gadget ticket. If I got 420 characters to max out, a 5-star gadget ticket is not going to do that much for me. Come on. Get real. New lifetime limit break missions. Get 100 characters to plus 99 limit break. Get an emblem. Again, poor show, but, you know, it is what it is. New Hero Islands. Now, the interesting thing about these, I know they've just been released, so you might be like, oh, I'll save that for later or whatever. It's like, well, actually, the anniversary is the best time to do these because all of the boosts are tripled and the stamina is halved. So it won't cost you hardly any stamina to beat both of these. And you'll want to farm the books for the legend summon. And this will be the best time to do that. So make sure to do that. Obviously, you get rubies for maxing out the legend summon. So do it, obviously. The coin cavern now gives more coins than it used to, which is good. We all got 300 character slots for free, which is good. Coins have been added to the Soldier Soul exchange. Come on, really? You expect me to spend my Soldier Souls, which you think are so valuable, that I need to get to rank 580 to get 500 of them out of you, and you want me to use them on coins? That's poor. That's really, really poor. And then we have the Max Luck Special Reward Campaign. We get these every event, but this one is a big boy. Look at all of these rewards. The special multi-ticket means another guaranteed limited plus 9 other 5-star characters. 1,000 rubies, a whole heap load of doors. An emblem and a costume for Goku. Love it. Love it. And then we get to talk about my boy. And yes, this is my boy. You know I'm going to be summoning for him. Obviously, I have enough rubies. We're going to be doing it. That'll be another video at some point. And yeah, I mean, the banner image goes... Look at this image. It goes so hard. I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy. Predictions aside, I do genuinely believe, now that we've had Yamamoto as a limited, and it's basically from, like, his biggest, most powerful moment in the series, it's very hard for me to see him as anything other than a limited. But Urahara, it made sense, and it's so good. I love it. I love that they made this choice. This does put us in an interesting situation where the series they consider to be the 4 biggest, because I mean that's what this event is based around basically, they all have either a Densetsu or a Muso. So yes, other series can still get attention, and I'm sure they will in the future, and there are certain series that don't have one yet that can get one. I still think Kimetsu no Yaiba will get one. I think it'll probably be Yashiki, but it'll be like the pillars attack on his behalf. Or I've seen a lot of people say Muzan. I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's options. Not as many options as there maybe should be, but there are options. But it does put us in an interesting spot moving forward, because I genuinely believe now that Bleach has one, they're going to be going, okay, now it's all right for us to give another series their second one. And I wholeheartedly believe it's going to be Shanks. I really genuinely believe they're going to say Shanks is here. I don't know whether it'll be 55th anniversary or 5.5 anniversary or 6th anniversary or what. I don't know what it's going to be, but I really think it's going to be Shanks. Anyway, very nice addition from the devs. Thank you very much. The fact... I know, obviously, this is like one of the iconic panels, and that's why I chose it in the first place, but the fact that they chose the same panel that I chose, and the fact that the name they chose for him was from the exact same quote from the manga that I chose it from, I was pretty happy. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So, pretty cool stuff. Obviously, he's expensive as shit. 30 multis, 28,500 rubies. Almost 30,000 rubies. That's so much. Obviously, you get a total of 3 limiteds guaranteed in addition to Kisuke, so that's good, but yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. And he has the new ability, Multi-Chain, and the way Multi-Chain works is red bubbles... I'm tired, guys. Leave me alone. The way Multi-Chain works is you'll have the type of buff here. So you can have a one-way buff or you can have a two-way buff. And the bubbles are specified within the buff. So in this case, it's a red one chain to green. It's a green two-way chain with yellow. And so in the case of the first buff, red can chain to green, but green cannot then go on to chain to additional red. So if you chain reds Any greens that red chain is touching will be chained. Any reds that are not part of the original chain will not be added on because they are touching a green. And if you try and chain green bubbles, it'll just be green bubbles. But in this case, is both ways. So if you'll go to green, then to yellow, then to green, then to yellow, and so on and so forth. So this image actually illustrates it quite well. This is from the stream. And it shows you Kisuke's and Inner Hollow's chains. And it's a potentially quite powerful ability. I think it's in the same boat as All Might in a sense that sometimes it can be a little bit more disruptive than you want it to be. But it's definitely not as bad as All Might purely because All Might's ability, because it's a rainbow, it doesn't matter what you do. If it's touching that skill bubble's going off. But with this, it's like there's other things you could do. So I mean, it's not too bad. And he has he does a lot of damage. He's very strong. He's very, very strong. Then we have Kaido, who is an overdrive unit. So he has 2 forms. Now, I am a little bit torn on this because I think, yes, Kaido deserved the limited. But this is his second limited. Now, does Kaido deserve 2 limiteds? Maybe, but we don't have an event Kaido, so it's kind of dead for me. But okay, fair enough. I think a lot of people's reactions, and it kind of falls in line with what I'm thinking. Most likely, this is where they would have put Gear 5 Luffy. But, you know, this is the sort of thing where it's like, we want to go back to Wano, we want a big limited, Gear 5 Luffy, or maybe he could have been a Densetsu or some new thing or whatever. But I have a sneaking suspicion, based purely on little snippets of things that Fuji has said in different places at different times. I have a feeling someone from Shonen Jump said to him, we're not really comfortable with you spoiling as much as you have been. It's not really spoiling, obviously, because it's already come out in the manga, and this game is aimed at people like that. But now that we're getting adverts on TV, now that we're getting adverts in like massive billboards and stuff like that, if, say for example, Gear 5 Luffy has not happened in the anime yet, you're gonna plaster him on billboards across the city that can't run. It's not time yet. When it's time, do what you want, but it's not time yet. And so I think that's the situation we're sort of in. You know, certain things are okay. Like, for example, with the Kimetsu no Yaiba event, they released a limited Kanroji, they released a limited Tokito. But I don't feel like that's really spoiling that much. It's just, like, yeah, okay, it's got, like, new forms for them that maybe haven't been shown in the anime yet. But the anime's basically already there. You know those two are featured in it. And it's just them fighting. It doesn't spoil that much compared to a new form change for one of the biggest characters in all of manga. So there's probably some things they can get away with and some things they can't get away with. And seemingly that's the wall we've hit. So we're going to get Gear 5 Luffy when everyone else gets it. Or maybe sometime after that. But as for Kaido, Kaido's appeared in the anime in his beast form, so he can be a limited, that's fine. I don't necessarily hate this as a limited. I feel like the other one shouldn't have been limited. The other one should have been an event unit, and then this should have been a limited, and then they should have just made Kazuki Oden an actually really good unit instead of whatever he ended up being. But they made their choice, and it is what it is. But you know what? I don't disagree with him being a limited. I think it's fine. It does make this. Some of the limited picks are a little bit dull here, but it's not. They're not dull because they're bad picks. They're dull because of some of the bad decisions they made in the past. One of which being Kaido being a limited already. Tien, again, the sprite, incredible. It is classic Toriyama. It's perfect. And Tien is finally in the game, guys. Do you know how long we've been waiting? And Tien is finally in the game. And like, this happened last time with Chad. Chad was finally in the game in the 4.5, and now 5th anniversary, we finally got Tien. Who's it going to be for 5.5? Who's that one character that we're still waiting on that's finally going to get added? I'm interested to see. Then we have Hiyori, or Komurasaki, or whatever you want to call her. From One Piece, this is obviously an import from Taiwan. She's actually been upgraded from event unit to hero grade. Not really sure why, other than maybe just to sort of pad out this gacha. I'm not necessarily against it, but considering One Piece didn't get a farmable in this event, it seems like a bit of an odd choice. But it's fine. It also does bring up an interesting point for later in the year. They have some Taiwan import stuff planned. So interesting that they brought her in here. But nonetheless, I mean, it's still a pretty good sprite. It's not that old. I don't hate it. It's not a bad choice. And then a new version of Grimjo. Now, I actually think this is pretty good. And the reason I think this is pretty good is, number one, Grimjo kind of got shafted into being like a trash tier older unit. And an event unit. Now, he has an actual usable standard gacha unit, which I am all for. And this does kind of give us a little bit of hope in regards to characters that in the past maybe got shafted. And he doesn't do that much after... I mean, the moment they've made his like Transcendent class unit out of... He doesn't do much after that. But he does appear in the series. He does do some things. And they decided he did enough that he can get a unit. So there's so many characters that I think fall into that category of... They had their big moment. Jumputi fumbled adding them to the game and made them some like really... They added too early. Or it's like a trash tier unit or whatever. They can still have a second chance even if maybe realistically they probably shouldn't have one. So potentially, like for example Yamamoto, I said this before, I feel like they fumbled with him because he should have been a Muso Densetsu whatever, but you could still give us a new version, maybe a new limited. It could still work, so it's fine. Or if you wanted to give him like a Muso Densetsu, but it's got to be down the line, it can't be anytime soon. Yeah, not a bad gacha. Now interestingly, the 3 limited gacha all have the new heroes on it. But this gacha is the only one that has 1 limited on it. The others have 2. And whether you prefer that or not, I guess depends on the person. Because your chance of pulling Kaido is going to be a little bit higher because he's the only limited featured on the banner. But at the same time, on the other banner, for the same price, you're guaranteed 2 limiteds. On this one, you'd be guaranteed 1 limited and 1 of these hero grade units. So there's a bit of a trade. I mean, again, it really depends on the person. But it's not the worst banner we've ever seen, so it's fine. Then we have Might Guy. Again, same category as Kaido for me. He 100% deserves to be limited. This 100% deserves to be the version of him that is a limited. But they already released one that was a limited that probably shouldn't have been. That one should have been like a standard gacha or an event unit or something. So now we have 2 limited Might Guys, and it feels like we should only really have 1. But nonetheless, this version 100% deserves to be limited. So I can't really complain. Yes, it does maybe hurt the event a little bit in terms of diversity. Going back to One Piece, going back to Dragon Ball, going back to Naruto, whatever. But you know what? I can't complain. This goes hard. Everyone knows that his fight against Madara is just one of the absolute maddest in Naruto. And yes, 100% deserves to be limited. He's very powerful. I'm down. I'm all about this. Now his banner has, again, the heroes featured on it, but also Seiya the 6th Path's Naruto. I think that's pretty cool because on the 6th multi, you're guaranteed to get 1 of them. And then on the 10th multi, you'll get a choice ticket, which would allow you to choose the other one. So I think that's pretty nice of them. I actually quite like banners like that. Admittedly, your chances of pulling Guy on a non-feature pool are a little bit lower because you've got Naruto there as well, who is also featured. But still, I think it's pretty cool. And then the final banner is Gohan. Now, Gohan is interesting because he is a Taiwan import, but they have changed his type. He's changed from yellow to green. And this does raise a lot of questions about what's going to happen with Taiwan imports moving forward. Because a lot of the time, there would be a limited And when Taiwan wanted to get that limited, but it was something that they couldn't have, they would come up with their own character to get those abilities. If it's a JoJo character, say for example Dio, they can't have JoJo stuff. So they said, oh, we can't have Dio, so we'll take Dio's skills and we'll give it to Kurapika. Then later we got Kurapika, and he was red, and he had like a different skill set, and I guess it was a skill set they had decided, at the time at least, they weren't planning to add to Japan, I think, or to Taiwan, I don't know. But the point is, it does make things a lot more confusing when you keep changing the types of characters, even though they said they were going to try and avoid downgrading characters. So anyone that's a limited over on Taiwan should, in theory, be one on JP as well. This causes issues. So I don't know how it's going to look moving forward. I do genuinely believe this Gohan should have been a transforming unit. But, again, it's so cool. Do you know how long we've waited for Super Saiyan 2 Gohan as a limited? And now we've got it. So, again, I can't complain. And I think it's a really cool unit. And I'm just... Technically, it's not Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He transforms in his ultimate attack. It's like Super Gohan or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just cool. And Gohan is just cool. It's just a fact. Now, luckily for me, I'm not that tempted to summon on any of the limiteds. Like, if anything struck me from the stream, it was Kisuke. And it was straight away. And I was like, I have to summon for him. And I'm going to summon for him. The others all feel like, you know what? This is a great addition to the game as a limited. This should exist as a limited. I don't necessarily want to go for it, though. And so, you know what? That sort of works out for me, because it means I don't have to summon on any of these banners, and I can start saving after I get Kisuke. So, all good. But that's not the end of the traps, lads. It's not over. We have the 5th anniversary deluxe all-star gacha. Now this this is what I like to call god tier bait, because not only does this have all previous Muso grade units on it and all previous Densetsu grade units on it, but this banner also has a whole host of limiteds, including seasonal limiteds. We have limiteds from this year that are supposed to be like exclusive to a certain time period, certain event, and they have come back. Now, the Toguro Brothers being Black Friday exclusive is kind of dumb, but it's something that we've come to accept. Light and Ryuk being New Year exclusive, kind of dumb, but we've come to accept. But what I hate about this banner is that they put these units on there, and if you actually look at the in-game notice, they've highlighted their names in red, just so that you take note. Like they're doing something. Like they're giving you this great opportunity to get these units. But it's a ruse. It's deceptive. You see, the steps are pretty interesting. I mean, yeah, the price is high. Don't get me wrong, the price is high. But for 32,000 rubies, you're going to get 32 5-star characters. Guaranteed, probably more than that. You're guaranteed that 4 of those are going to be limited. And, 4 of those will be limited. And in addition to that, you will get a choice ticket at the end that will let you choose, I believe, anyone from the banner. So technically, yeah, you could use that on Light and Ryuk or on the Toguro Brothers, or on seasonal Kirizu Sensei, or Summer Sasuke, or whatever. But realistically, if you were going to spend that much, you would be using it on one of the Densetsu grade units, or one of the Muso grade units. And so they're basically saying, well, the units are back. If you want an absolutely minuscule chance to summon them, they are there. They're in the pool. It's just super low. Or you can go 32,000 rubies deep, and you can get them on a choice ticket instead of like one of the like super powerful units. Don't get me wrong; those units are powerful, but it's a dick move. It's a dick move by them. Like on the one hand, yeah, at least it's guaranteed. On the other hand, are you kidding me? 32,000 rubies. Anyway, we have some other gacha right now. Some nicer than others, and I'll tell you which ones have upsides and downsides. This one has a very good upside of first multi free. You should do the first multi. Beyond that, it's whatever. It's just another one of those bait banners. It's like you can go for it if you want, but realistically, I don't think many people will, just because who has the rubies to spare? Who has them? But you have free. You can do free. So definitely do that. Then we have the protagonist limited gacha. I don't recommend this. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Yeah, no multi is cool, but it's like we have to be realistic at anniversaries. You have things that you could be spending rubies on. This is not one of them. Don't spend rubies on this. These gacha, this is a little bit different, however. These gacha, 1,000 rubies. You get guaranteed limited from either 2018, 2019, this one 2020, 21, and this one 2022, 2023. This one for me, this banner here is a no-brainer. This one, a bit less so. This one is realistically not worth it. I guess if you're a new player, you might have an abundance of rubies, and you probably don't have a lot of these units. So I guess in that case, sure, fair enough. But this one, basically all players, I would imagine, will want to do this one. Especially because it has units from 2023 in it. If you happen to get one of those for 1,000 rubies, that's top. But even if you get like a much older 2022 unit, it's still pretty damn good. Fingers crossed for everybody you don't get a dupe. Then we have this gacha, which actually, considering the current state of things, is hard to recommend this. But basically on the second multi you get guaranteed limited. And the reason it's hard to recommend it is because, I mean, yeah, sure, you could get something good on that, but it's like, there's so much to be spending rubies on. It's really hard to say, oh yeah, go spend on this. But at the same time, it's only 2 multis for a limited. I'd have to refamiliarize myself with the pool to tell you whether that was actually worth it or not. I have a feeling the answer is a resounding nah, not really. Not really that good. But at the same time, I mean, they put these tasty units on the banner. These units are all from 2022. And so part of me is thinking, actually, maybe it is worth it. You know, I'm going to have a look right now. I'm going to have a look right now and have a look at the limiteds, which should hopefully be separate from the other stuff. Let's see. It's not a bad pull, to be fair. It's not a bad pull. It's a lot of 2022 limiteds in there. There are some older ones, though. There's definitely some older ones. So it is a bit tough. But I would argue it's still a pretty strong pull. There's still some very good units in there. So compared to something like this, where it's 1,000 rubies and it's like there's some good units in there, but it's like they're a lot older. It's kind of whatever. It's like this one's not that bad. But again, it's 2 multis and it's like technically you could do multiple rotations, which I don't necessarily recommend, but it's there if you want it. I can't really recommend it. Then there's this gacha, which I wholeheartedly do not recommend. Do not summon on this. Yeah, the gimmick of the jewel shards is kind of cool, but it's not worth it. Then the superstar gacha, now they have. This is I think this. I don't know if they've changed it or whether there's 2 different versions of this, and I'm forgetting, or I don't know. But basically, in the past, a lot of these gachas say first multi is 5-star. No, first multi is 500. Second multi and third multi are ×2 5-star rate, and third multi is ×3 5-star rate, and you get a limited choice ticket. This is the same thing, but in addition, on the first multi you get guaranteed 5-star, on the second multi you get 2 guaranteed 5-stars, and on the third multi you get 3 guaranteed 5-stars. Now, why that is better, and the price has been reduced, it's 500, 500, 500, then 1,000, so it is cheaper. Ultimately, this is still not worth summoning on, but nice to see that they made some updates to it. To be fair, credit to them. It's still not very good. Start Dash packs have been renewed. There aren't that many of those that's worth buying, but if you want to, they're there. Rank Dash packs have been renewed. Same thing. Special Ruby deals. Not that many of these are actually worth buying, but they're there if you want them. And then we move on to these packs. I could see why someone might buy this during the anniversary, because you're going to need a lot of stamina tanks to get going. But generally speaking, I don't recommend spending actual physical currency on not rubies. You can do it if you want, but if you're not getting some rubies out of it, I generally say it's probably not a great deal. I've actually not changed the banner for that. That still says countdown. It's not the countdown one. But anyway, Daily Gift Pack B. I don't recommend this one. Spending money on choice tickets, not good. Not a good thing. 700 rubies there, to be fair, which is not bad, but it's still not really worth it. And then this pack is more worth it than other packs of a similar price typically are. 9,800 yen. You get 4,000 rubies. You get this choice ticket. Well, basically the 10 shards to the choice ticket. And they have stepped up the rewards a little bit in this. But ultimately, it's still a lot to spend. So that's going to be down to you a little bit. This pack is one of the few packs that fits the Scarface King's seal of approval criteria. The amount of yen I am spending works out to be less the amount of rubies I am receiving. I get more rubies than I spend in yen. That means it's a good pack. And this is a good pack. 480 yen for 500 rubies. You do get a 5-star ticket, who cares? And you can buy this 5 times! Very good. Very, very good. This one, 1,900 yen for a limited ticket, 400 rubies. It's pretty cheap for a limited ticket, but still, it's kind of air. This one, they have decided that 2,000 rubies and a limited ticket plus 1,000 limit break doors works out to 4,800 yen. I don't know if that maths necessarily ends up, but for me, it's a no. This pack, admittedly, not super expensive for 3,000 rubies. Plus, you get jewels and some other stuff and a limited ticket. But again, it's not for me. But in terms of value, in terms of overall value, it's better than some other packs we've had in the past. This pack is, again, it's like, it's not 9,800 yen and you're getting like a limited plus 4,500 rubies plus jewels. Again, it's not bad, but it's so expensive. The issue is, I can't really wholeheartedly back a pack unless it fits that criteria. And some of these packs are way off that criteria. But you are getting other stuff and it's sort of like, it's not bad, but it's just like, it's not good. So I think that's how we're going to measure it from now. There's bad, there's not bad, and then there's good. And very few packs are going to be good. And look, another pack that's good is basically the same one as before, but this one additionally gives you 6 of each hero jewel and 100 limit break doors hero grade. That's a very nice pack. So again, seal of approval, gets my seal of approval. And these ones are basically the same as these ones up here, but they've been like buffed in some way. And you can only buy them once, you can't buy them 5 times. So this one, same thing as before, but it has 100 limit break doors. Hero, was it limited grade? Limited grade, I think. And then this one, I thought, what have they changed for this one? 10 Ultimate Scrolls, was that it? Wait, was that really it? 10 Ultimate Scrolls, 2,000 rubies, 1,000 doors, and a limited ticket. 2,000 rubies, limited ticket. It's just 10 scrolls. That's what they changed. Okay, whatever. And then this one has like 2 limited tickets. I mean, look. When we're getting up to these numbers, I can put them in the category of not bad at a stretch. They can never be in the category of good. They're so expensive, and you're not getting enough rubies for the money you're putting out. But this one does give you a limited choice ticket and a bunch of not bad, but it's not good. Then we have this pack. Again, I can't recommend a pack that doesn't give you rubies if you're spending real world money. And this pack, yeah, it gives you 6 of each jewel. That's pretty good. But there's no rubies. So this falls into the bad category. This is in the bad category, the bad category, the bad category, the bad category. This one, I mean, it remains to be seen how rare the heroic crystals are going to be. But I'm going to have to say it falls into the bad category because it's a lot of money to spend for one item and 500 rubies. And then this one is the same thing but more expensive and has some additional, you know, hidden potential stuff. Falls into the bad category. It's a good pack. It's a good pack. Less than 2,000 yen for 2,000 rubies. We call that a win. And that is a very good pack. Seal of approval. This pack is not that good. 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 This pack is a little bit better. 5,000 rubies for 9,800 yen. And this one, again, a little bit better. 10,000 rubies for 15k yen. The problem is, it costs 15k yen. So this is definitely one for the whales. If you're looking to spend a lot of money on the game, this is an option for you. But realistically, 15k yen, what's that, like $130? Something like that? Maybe a bit less than that. That's a lot, guys. That's too much. And that gets you, what, a third of the way to a Densetsu? I mean, it's hard to recommend something that expensive. Then we have these emblems, which I assume they've given us one emblem for each of the types. My thought was that it would be like if you if you do the hidden potential for a red unit, you'll get the Scarlet emblem. If you do it for a blue unit, you get the Azure one, and so on and so forth. But actually, I have no idea how you get these. They're currently not available in the game, so we'll see, I guess. And the roadmap I kind of want to save for another video, because I want to talk about it at length, and I've already been talking at length about other stuff. So we'll get back to that. The birthday gacha for April, we don't have all of them, but we have up until the, I guess, like the 15th, 16th of April. Is it 15th or 16th? April... So probably up until the 14th, maybe up until the 17th, I don't know. Anyway, Kinnikuman's birthday, again, with all of these, I recommend doing the first multi. Probably not worth doing more than that, but it's not that expensive if you really want the limited. Kinnikuman, Kurapika, Shirahoshi, Whitebeard, and Jin, which comes in the form of Deku and Jin because he doesn't have a standalone limited. Should get one at some point, but doesn't. And this is another version of the Hidden Potential pack that is currently unreleased. It's basically the same thing, but you get more rubies, and I think you get limited grade doors instead of hero grade doors. For me, it's not worth it. This pack is not worth it. This pack is not worth it. That's the same as the one before, same as the one before, same as the one before. This pack, not worth it. This pack is not worth it. This pack, they have actually tweaked this pack, which I should probably mention. They've reduced the amount of rubies, but they've also reduced the price, and it's still a limited choice ticket. But for me, it's still not worth it, and still not worth it. And we did it! We got to the end of the news post. I got some other videos coming up, don't worry. I've got a Kotodaman video on their Tokyo Revengers collab number 2. I've got a video coming up about summoning for Kisuke. I've got a video coming up on the roadmap. There are more videos coming up in the near future. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.